Come on. This is it. Wow. Look, first of all, just enjoy it. We're in the Champions League. I don't care how people want to be negative about it. I don't care what people want to say. The reality is, if you'd said to me at the start of the season, we were going to be in the Champions League and we were going to be in 2 cup finals, I would have said, yes, please. Yes, please. I will take that. I absolutely will take that, because it's just been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And, I think Eric Ten Hag, I'm getting a bit emotional here. Well, I'll tell you why I'm getting a bit emotional, because I go back to, let me just go back here. I go back to this picture after the Liverpool game, and that's the lowest of the low. That is the lowest of the low, hiding behind a seat because we've just lost to Liverpool 7-0. But contextually, it was one game, and you almost had to convince yourself, as with all these Liverpool fans rinsing you, you had to look at the league table and go, hold on a minute, we're higher than you in the league. We've won the Carabao Cup. We've lost one game. You only get 3 points. I will say this right now. I've learned something this year. It's never acceptable to get stuffed by Liverpool, and it happened under Solskjaer. It's never acceptable to get stuffed by Liverpool. But I'll tell you for free, I will, right here, endure that once a season, every season, if we're winning trophies and in the Champions League and they're not. It's, we've learned a lesson ourselves that actually it's a 38-game season. It's not a 1-game season. We lost the first 2 games of the season and there was panic. We got stuffed by Man City at the Etihad. We lost to Arsenal in January. We got stuffed by Liverpool. We got stuffed by Newcastle. And yet, after 38 games, we're in 3rd place. We are the best of the rest behind Arsenal and Man City. We're in 2 domestic cup finals. How has Eric Ten Hag done this? The guy's a magician. He's a magician. Pure and simple. Smash a like on the video. This guy is a magician. I cannot speak about the absolute shower of shit that run our footballing world. Whether it's pundits, mainstream, the decision makers, basically. How can you not put Eric Ten Hag on the shortlist for Premier League Manager of the Year? Have a word with yourself. You should be bloody ashamed. They must drink pints of Horlicks to get to sleep at night, because that is a disgrace, man and woman. That is a disgrace to all of them. Absolute disgrace. How can you not put Eric Ten Hag in the top 6 Premier League managers this season? Have a word, you absolute turbo prat. What are you talking about? He's took over the worst Man United Premier League side in history. He loses Ronaldo at the start of the season. He doesn't get the signings he wants to take on tour. He doesn't get Casemiro and Antony until we've already started the season. Nobody was putting us in the top 4 anyway. And we're 3rd place at the end of the year. I think what he's done is incredible. And also, in January, Ronaldo's gone. He gets given Wout Weghorst. Like, this guy is a magician. Of course, the football's not been great at times. I don't think it has. I don't think it even was tonight. But that's the whole point of a magician. They pull out a rabbit out of the hat all the time. And he's done it consistently as well. And on top of all that, because of our schedule of the Europa League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup and the World Cup making the Premier League compact, from Boxing Day, we played a game every 3.5 days until basically May. It's incredible what Eric Ten Hag has done. Even, look, Bruno today didn't play well, but I actually felt sorry for him. I was like, my God, the amount of football he's played, he must be bloody knackered. So I think it's incredible what we've achieved this season, and I think it's disgusting that he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I completely take on board that the football at times hasn't been great, but the squad's not great. You can't play like Man City every week when you've got the squad that we've got. Our better players are exhausted, but we found this mental strength to get over the line. It's been brilliant. If we manage to win the FA Cup as well, I'm not sobering up for a week, says Berry. United finish above the best ever side in the history of Liverpool twice in 3 years, says Akash. This season is a marathon, not a sprint. We've won a trophy plus FA Cup final and qualified for the Champions League, says Alan. Casemiro is man of the match, but I'm tempted to give Eric Ten Hag for getting his top 4, says Cherry. Look, I said at the start of the season, and I'm not ashamed of this, I think it was actually a good take. I said at the start of the season, a good first season for Ten Hag would be to probably get 5th and have a good cup run. He's had 2 good cup runs. In fact, he's won a cup already. 2 good cup runs and 3rd. I think that is way above what I was thinking. It's not the level Man United should be at, by the way. The standard of Man United is to win the Premier League, but we've been nowhere near that for 10 years. You can't say to Ten Hag, take over the worst ever Premier League United side and win the Premier League. That's never happening. It's not even going to happen next year. So, but the progress has been remarkable. And look, I hope tomorrow or Saturday or whenever we get a really big announcement around the sale, because for me, the next step is major investment for a manager that has overachieved with minimal investment. And people will say, well, £250 million is not minimal. It is when a whole team needs... Ranić was right. This team needs open heart surgery. It needs 10 players. 10 players in the modern day is going to cost you about £1 billion. He's had 250 million. He needs another 750. This guy needs investing in. United must fire Murtaugh and get whoever is in charge of transfers and negotiation at Leicester. How many frauds was he able to sell for huge fees so far, says SK. A renewed desire going forward, says Rizek. It's nice to be back in the Champions League, says Andrew. Sancho was fantastic on the right in the second half. United stand viewership. I hope you'll apologise as loud as you disrespect, says Thomas. Yeah, but not everyone disrespects Sancho, mate. I know a lot of people do, but, I certainly don't. Looks like we're finding some form off the right. Time Garnacho being back as well gives me confidence for the FA Cup, says Keenan. Look, the FA Cup final against Man City will be next week. That's what that's all about. And I have a few ideas about what we can do. I think Fred has to play. I don't think Eriksen's got the legs for a game like that. Mark, would you take João Felix? I do like João Felix spicy, but I don't know whether he'd fit into what we're trying to do. We need somebody to do the Eriksen role. We need someone a bit more defensive as well. Feeling elated and emotional. We've done it. Congratulations to the entire community, says Karan. Look, smash a like on the video because it's for you as well. The Champions League, I said it in the watch along and I'll repeat it here. The thing that excites me about next year is I watch the Champions League. Unfortunately, Tuesday, Wednesday night is That's Football. And then Thursday night, it's United stand for United. Next year, I'm getting an extra night off. Great, I can start playing five-a-side football again. I used to play five-a-side football on a Thursday. And 6 years ago, it became very sporadic because of the Champions League. I'm back up front. Thursday night football. Tudor Grange, massive. But the reality is, this is it. I love the Champions League. I think it's a great tournament. And Man United being in it makes it even greater. Tuesday, Wednesday, watching United play and knowing that we might be playing Saturday lunchtime or Saturday evening. Bring it on. I'm fed up of watching Tuesday, Wednesday Champions League football because I like the tournament. Then having to watch us on a Thursday. Then we're playing on a Sunday. Forget it. I don't want that. I want Manchester United in the Champions League competing with the best. That's where we deserve to be. We're Manchester United. Do you think if Pochettino had this season for United, he would be nominated for Manager of the Year, says Dean? Oh, I think if any English manager had this season for Man United, they would be, yeah. Fiore says Casemiro world class and Rashi 30 goals. What a season to build on. Everybody absolutely class today. Quick question: does fourth place still have to play a preliminary round? No, Jacob. No, not since 2018 apparently. Note: never buy a defender from Leicester, says Dejan. Yeah, Fofana got absolutely sent back to Leicester, didn't he? I'm sure Maguire was there feeling sorry for him. But look, Manchester United in the Champions League, Erik Ten Hag. Don't let anybody tell you that Ten Hag's not a magician. I think what he's done this year, there's been so many barriers as well. The Ronaldo thing was massive. You know, a guy sitting on national TV to the world, slagging you off, slagging the club off, is one thing. But, you know, your player of the year and your best goal scorer walking out of the club and you've got no money in January. Look, say what you like about Ronaldo, but if he'd stayed happy and working hard, he would have been a better player than Weghorst, wouldn't he? But still, the team's done well without him. Didn't get any reinforcements. We've had major injuries as well. We've had the suspensions of Casemiro, which were unfair. There's been a lot of barriers for Ten Hag, and it's a first season. He's never managed in the Premier League before. Bruno said post-match that the squad knows what stopping the treble means to the fans, but for the players, the final is about winning another trophy, says L1. Hi, Mark. Tonight felt like a cup final, which was a cakewalk, to be fair. Is third place secure, or do we have to win, draw next game, says Tom. Chelsea are playing Newcastle. If Newcastle win, they go ahead of us. So, yeah, we need to beat Fulham on Sunday and we'll finish third. Back the manager, give him 300 million to add 5 new players and we'll be in the mix for the Premier League next season, says Karan. I actually disagree with that, Karan. I actually think give him 300 million for 5 players this summer and then do it again next summer. And then the season after next we'll be in the fight for the title race. I still think that when you're trying to catch Man City, how long has it taken Pep to build this team? It's not going to happen in 2 summers. I think he needs 3. Mark, I remember back in January on a super chat, I said we'd get top 4 and you shot me down. Look at us now. Come on, United and Eric Ten Hag, says Luke. Mohammed, welcome to the Members Club. And look, mate, I will jump on that because it makes it sound like I was going with shit. We're not going to get top 4. I never said we were shit. The reason I said we wouldn't get top 4 until recently was because the amount of games we were playing and the squad we had, I couldn't see how... Ten Hag kept picking his best team against Reading. Like, we were playing every 3.5 days and he kept picking the same players. And you look at the squad and you go, there is nobody. There is nobody else. So, to me, this is why Ten Hag's a magician. Because I don't know how he's managed to use the same players every 3.5 days for 5 months after a World Cup and a season that started in August. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what Ten Hag has done. Absolutely incredible. I wish Eric Ten Hag got the right back. I mean, if Ten Hag can do that with that squad, imagine what he could do with what Pep's got. The level of quality that Pep's got. Because one of the thing is, you can talk about the squad's not very big, but it's also nowhere near as good. Like, we don't have the quality that Man City have got. So you give Ten Hag better players, I'm sorry, I know sometimes it doesn't work like that, but if you give Ten Hag more players and better players, we will be a better team than what we are. And we've just got 3rd and 2 cup finals. So what's better than that? I wish Eric Ten Hag got the right backing and keep going. No more. I hope we can play better football, though, says Mania. Sancho at Dortmund had 40 goals and assists, mainly from the right. His best match today on the right. Mic drop, says Zidane. And today, Champions League is confirmed. Glazers need to wrap up the sale now. Look, I hope there is going to be some progression tomorrow on the sale, but I don't know whether there will be or not. Let's do the player ratings anyway. Man United, we've got a fan forum to come as well. They're excited in the studio, so I don't want to hog it all, but let's do the player ratings. Isn't it? Look, I just want to say, overall, I don't really care about the result tonight. I think the result's a bonus. I would have took 0-0. I don't care. Like, it really just wanted a point. The fact that we could finish 3rd now, then, that's great. That's absolutely great. But I'd have took a point. I'd have took a shit result. I'm not bothered. A 0-0 ball, I would have took it because it's about Champions League football. The fact that we scored 4 goals, and I think it's the biggest win we've had all season, great. Absolutely fantastic. So pleased. David De Gea tonight, give him a 7. I think he made a couple of good saves, to be fair. Nothing he could do on the goal, but yeah. He actually made more saves tonight than he has when he's had a clean sheet, which is logical, I suppose. I don't know what that means. But yeah, David De Gea player. Look, for me, Wan-Bissaka was an 8 tonight. I know people have given him a 7. I think Wan-Bissaka was brilliant tonight. He was a left back. He was a left winger. He's a right winger. He's a right back. He was centre midfield. I mean, I like Dalot, and there was times where I thought Dalot was the better right back, and there was times where I thought he was sharing the load. But it's very, very clear now that he's actually picking Wan-Bissaka as the number 1 right back. He's been incredible. Wan-Bissaka's been incredible. I'll say this right now. We ain't buying Frimpong in the summer. Why would we buy Frimpong in the summer? Why would you sell Wan-Bissaka? Delot's not going anywhere. He's signing a new deal. Why would you sell Wan-Bissaka? You just can't. To me, he's only not man of the match because there's a world-class player on the pitch in a red shirt. But Wan-Bissaka was fantastic tonight. Absolutely fantastic. A definite 8. I've always liked Wan-Bissaka. I was told he was going in the summer, and I thought I just sort of gave up on it. And then he came back in, and I was like, why is he playing? It's well known he's going to go. And I think Ten Hag's had that opinion. But he's got to have... It makes no sense to sell Wan-Bissaka to bring in Frimpong. And if it happens, it happens, and you've got to back the manager. But I can't understand how that would happen. Missed out big time on Enzo, says J90. Well, we didn't miss out. We couldn't do anything about it. Glazers out, says Karen. Friday's an auspicious day in Islam. Probably what Qatar was waiting for, and Champions League wraps it up. Happy days ahead, says Surab. Mark, didn't we need to remind you of something when we qualified? Says, I did it. I've already done it. I did it on the watch along. It was basically all about, Liverpool fans laughing at me about this. They were laughing about me at this. Well, they're not laughing anymore. They were laughing about this and the 7-Up Cup. But you're not laughing anymore, are you? You're not laughing anymore because you're playing Thursday night football. You won the 7-Up Cup and you got Thursday night football. You beat us 7-0. We're in 2 cup finals. We've won 1 and we're in the Champions League. You can beat us 7-0 every season at Anfield if it means this at the end. Thank you very much and good night. That was what I was going to say. Anyway, I'm getting a bit giddy now. Mark, look, Liverpool will be back. They'll probably win the league next year and we'll be in the Europa League. But that's why you've got to enjoy it while it's good. They bloody ripped us apart for 7-0, and so they should. They enjoyed it while it was good. Then they lost to Bournemouth. You know, they had 6 days. Didn't even get 7. Mark, didn't we need to remind you of done that one? And I think Rafael Varane's performance was outstanding. Yeah, I agree, Keenan. I'm just about to do the centre-backs now. So yeah, an 8 for him. 7.5 for Varane. He was probably a little bit at fault for the goal, you know. I love Varane. He was probably a little bit at fault for the goal. I mean, I don't care. It's 4-0. But he just got caught out a little bit by Felix, and it was a great finish. But Varane is so important for us. Do not play Varane against Fulham. Don't play Varane against Fulham. Just wrap him up for a week and let him prep for that final. Don't play Varane against Fulham. Lindelof again, 7.5 for me. I think Lindelof's been brilliant. It's really difficult for me because I actually think we should play Shaw and Varane because they played so well in the Nou Camp. They played so well against Haaland at Old Trafford. I think Shaw and Varane suit shutting Haaland down better. But I don't think he will leave Lindelof out, and probably I'm wrong about that. But I feel I'd be a liar if I said I think we should play Luke Shaw and Varane. I think we've got to play Luke Shaw and Varane. But I think he will play Lindelof, and he probably deserves to. How do you explain that third place manager is the only one who's not nominated out of the top 4 for best manager of the season? Abel, I don't know. And we've played more games. You know, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's try and explain it. It's a disgrace. Luke Shaw, probably a 6.5 tonight. I thought he was doing all right, and then hopefully he's not badly injured. Casemiro, 9. 9. And I'm not saying he shouldn't get a 9 in German. I mean, he's a 9. Like, I think that pass on the second goal to Sancho was the sort of pass that if Bruno did it or De Bruyne did it, we wouldn't shut up. He's a holding midfielder, mate. That pass was brilliant. I don't know whether he's been hanging around with Firmino with a no-look pass, but even if he was looking, the pass was brilliant because it was off the air. It was the way he flicked it with his foot in the air. If he'd have played it along the ground, it would have been intercepted. It was unbelievable. And for someone like him to do that, brilliant. The header was good. Second header against Chelsea. Scored the late equaliser at Stamford Bridge, didn't he, early in the season. Tackling, aggressive. Probably should have got a yellow card. Don't care about that. I just think that's the complete performance from Casemiro tonight. And in the last 2 games, he's the guy who's got us over the line. He scored against Bournemouth. He scored the first goal tonight. He made the second goal. Just a complete performance from Casemiro. World class. And he is world class. We know he's world class. But we've missed him the last few weeks. And he's back at the right time. If he can play a little bit better than tonight against Man City. And he's another player I wouldn't play on Sunday. It's not worth the risk. I wouldn't play any player that's essential to us in the cup final on Sunday. Hopefully confirmed Champions League was a condition for the sale to now proceed. Let's hope we hit some oil, says Mark Lawton. I don't know about that. And Sem, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you smash a like. We're in the Champions League. Oh, yeah. Ericsson, probably a 6 tonight. I know he put the cross in for the goal, but he just looks tired. And more, you can see why he wants Mason Mount now, can't you? He wants a creative centre midfielder. But Ericsson hasn't got the legs for it. So he obviously wants to play a more attacking player in the centre midfield position. And you can see why he wants Mason Mount, because Ericsson just doesn't have the legs. And I can't see how Ericsson's going to work in the cup final against Rodri, Gundogan and De Bruyne on a big pitch. I like Ericsson, but play him at number 10 or don't play him at all in the cup final, because you play Ericsson, Bruno and Casemiro, I think we'll get run all over. I'd say you've got to play Fred or McTominay, and for me, probably Fred. Bruno tonight, look, 6.5. Knackered, felt sorry for him, but never stops trying. Been a brilliant captain this year. Another win. His win ratio as captain for Man United must be fantastic. Penalty, cool as ice. Won the penalty as well. It wasn't his best game, and I think Bruno's running on empty, and I wouldn't play him on Sunday, but he probably will play because he wants to play every minute. But he does look like a player that's played a lot of football this year, doesn't he? Anthony, probably a 6. I mean, look, fingers crossed. I like Anthony. He's obviously still a work in progress. but that looked like a bad injury, so I'm hoping it's not too bad. I don't expect he'll be back for the FA Cup final, but I'm more thinking about pre-season. The fact that the physio stood him up and let him stand up suggests to me they didn't think it was broken, because no physio in their right mind would do that. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad. Sancho, strong 7.5 from me. Probably a little bit generous, I would acknowledge, but he has been consistently below average for so long. I think when he puts a performance in like that, you've got to big him up. You've got to give him a bit of confidence. And I've said with Sancho, it's not over. It's not over with Sancho. And he will be here next season. I think he was a little bit more direct tonight. And we need to build him up. You know, I know a lot of people want to write him off. I know a lot of people want to write off the guy below him. But when it comes to the game against Man City, these two lads are really important and we need to build them up. So, yeah, 7.5 for me from Sancho. Martial, probably a 6.5. Look, he's the best. Ten Hag's right. We're a better side with Martial in it. He's the best number 9 we've got. Wrap him up for the final. You know, simple as that. What we do with him after the final is up for debate. But in the final, we need him. We need him. It's as simple as that. And a bit more confidence for him. Scored a goal. We need him. Rashford, good to see him back. 6.5 for me. I thought he was largely anonymous for a long period. And then he came alive, didn't he, in the last 20 minutes. And he got his goal. And the reason he was anonymous is because he's been out for a couple of games. He's not match sharp. So it was really important. It wasn't great for Anthony. But I think it took Rashford probably 40 minutes to get going. Now, if he'd have come on for the last half an hour, he never would have got going. So the fact that he came on early, he did get going by the last 20 minutes. So, yeah, good to have Rashford back. Malacia did quite well at left back. I actually thought he did quite well. Got forward. And they in the second half, we attacked better. And they didn't really get in as much. So I think he was a 6.5. I thought Malacia did well in the second half. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, you didn't. Fred's probably a 6.5 as well. He did come on. He was much better than Eriksen. Look, Fred's Fred, but I actually did think he made a big difference. And we created a lot more chances in the second half than we did in the first. So something changed. And I think, you know, Fred, Malacia, Rashford, they were all part of that. Garnacho, for me, I just think he's a fantastic player. He always makes things happen. He should have scored. I'd give him a 7. I just never want him to lose that. You know, whether it works or not, things happen when he's on the pitch. So, yeah, fantastic. Do you think we should cash in on Anthony? Says Chris. Come on, have a word. United have done that one as well. Who else have we got to do? McTominay, barely knew yet, 6. Ten Hag, look, maybe it's a season thing. I've got to give him an 8. I just think, I've already spoken about it massively, but what he's done this season, incredible, absolutely incredible. 2 cup finals, and I mean, look, if we weren't in Europe, it's almost perfect. 3rd place and 2 domestic cup finals. I mean, if anything, being in Europe's made it harder. Let's not forget we had to play 2 extra games against Barcelona because we finished 2nd in the group. Absolutely amazing what Ten Hag's done, and it's terrifying what he could achieve. The only handbrake at this club now is the ownership. If we had the ownership that Man City have got, that Newcastle have got, then it's scary what this guy could do, because he's done so much with very, very restrictive problems. With top 4 secured, would you play youngsters like Mainu and Iqbal? Sancho looked good tonight, grew into more time as went on, says J90, needs to be more direct and needs to do some gym work. With top, yeah. Well, look, in relation to Glazer's been waiting until top 4 is secured to announce they're staying, along with juicy transfer rumours to soften the blow and minimise protests, says Paul. Could be true. Could be true. I think they have been waiting for top 4 for some reason. Have your 7-Up trophy and swivel on that, says John. I don't know what's going to happen with the sale. It's 50-50, but I have a horrible feeling the Glazers are staying. I'll be wrong if I said that wasn't my feeling, but that might just be me being a bit cynical. Can you call my girlfriend Savannah an American Pratt, says Adin. Well, I'm not doing that, because I don't think Americans are Pratts. So, yes, yeah, Ten Hag this season, if you give him the funds, it's scary what he could do. But at this club, we don't know whether that's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see. I'll be stunned if this man is not man of the match. 87%, one of the highest of the season. Casemiro. I said it, didn't I? I said world class. Absolutely fantastic performance. For me, he's player of the year. I know that's a little bit of a spoiler, but I felt it for a long time that he is the player that's made the biggest impact on this team, and I think that he is, without question, so important to this team. We saw it when he was suspended. We've seen it in the last couple of games. I know Bruno's the captain, but it's Casemiro in the last couple of games that's got us over the line. In Bournemouth, I know, that could have been a draw. That could have been a draw. And then Liverpool are right on us. Tonight, the early goal, the pass to Sancho. It's that big game experience. You can't put a price on Casemiro. I thought when we spent 60 million on Casemiro, we'd been done. I thought, bloody hell, end of the transfer window. They've screwed us over here. I bet he's got an injury or something like that. Because I thought, why would Real Madrid let Casemiro go so late in the transfer window? I couldn't understand it. And actually, we weren't done. We've not been done at all. Real Madrid are just stupid. They shouldn't have let him go. He's been so good for us. And for me, he's player of the year. He's man of the match. I just think he's the biggest, most important player in the team. And we've got a few. Rashford's been great this year. Luke Shaw's been superb. Varane's been superb. Bruno's been superb. I think De Gea's been superb. I really do. Lindelof stepped in, done well. Wan-Bissaka, Delo at the start of the season. Eriksen at the start of the season. There's been so many good performers, but Casemiro for me is far and away the best of the lot. He's been absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, look, the fan forum has started. Make sure you smash a like on the video. We're in the Champions League. It's a relief. I knew we were going to do it. After Bournemouth. We were never not going to get a point against Fulham or Chelsea. But to get this done, the FA Cup becomes the focus now. But on Sunday, I want to see Maguire playing. I want to see McTominay and Fred. I want to see Delo. I want to see Malacia. I want to see Alanga. I want to see Weghorst. I want to see lots of players rested. And I would like to see Mainu and Iqbal getting game time. The problem is, Akash has gifted a membership. The problem is, how many players will Fulham rest? And do we want to finish third? Because he might, knowing Ten Hag, he might pick a strong team. You just don't know. But I think he will. I think Varane won't play. I think Maguire will play. Eriksen probably won't play. Anyway, look, let the forum have their say. And I'll speak to you over there. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Let's see if tomorrow brings anything about the sale. And if it does, let's hope it's what we want. I'll see you on the forum.